Gareth Edwards has brought the whole of this stadium to its feet.
Well, I've been asked over the years to give my thoughts on the try. I think we had a few beers up in Pontypridd. Tommy David thought it'd be a good idea, which was the first time we'd set eyes on one another since the tour had returned from New Zealand. We really knew that New Zealand had come with a vengeance.
Well, that really was a marvellous welcome for Ian Kirkpatrick and his All Blacks.
Sid going, first of all, put a bit of an up and under up. JPR in trying to clear it or get hold of it, got almost decapitated. I was running one way, running back to defend, running back again because somebody had kicked it again, and I saw Phil Bennett scurrying back like a little startled rabbit.
Williams. This is great stuff. Phil Bennett covering.
I can almost remember talking to myself, oh, thank God for that. Phil will kick it to touch. I'll have a breather when the ball goes into touch. And then I've gone, what is he doing now? Because the next move, of course, was a sensational sidestepping. Incredible, but typical Phil Bennett. I've run back just to get out of the way because I can see now the whole back division running towards me. But really, I was cursing. I was going, where the hell are they off to now? But all I remember was all this interplaying back and forth, which gave me time to gather a little bit of speed. And I thought, oh, something's opening up here. Yeah, you could almost sense it. And the crowd were beginning to stir, so to speak, and you could feel the crescendo building up. I shouted to Derek, Tulema, which is in Welsh, but means throw it here. I just got into full stride, really, when the pass came to me.
This is Gareth Edwards, a dramatic start. What a score!
I'll be perfectly honest with you, the last thing I was thinking about was where it was going to rank in the throes of rugby. I could sense from the crowd that there was something different. it's just a lovely, warm feeling when we're asked to relive it. That's something that we've been able to do over a period of time. It was really something quite unbelievable. Wherever I've been around the world, really, somebody has come up, tapped me on the shoulder and gone, I was there. I was there. I don't think they've even answered the question, but I was there, Cardiff, Barbarians. And we've all had a good laugh about that by and large, because we reckon there must have been close to 500,000 people at Cardiff then in that match. If all the people who have come up to us and told us that tale. I can't believe that it's virtually 50 years. In many ways, it feels like yesterday. And people were talking, and they were all excited at the process, at what they'd actually witnessed that day. And here we are 50 years later, and people are still talking about it. So it must have been something special. And that's given us all a huge amount of delight to have been part and parcel of that kind of rugby match. The unfortunate thing was there was no camera on that end of the playing field to capture the moment when I actually scored. The concept of the painting is true Barbarian style. It came from a chance meeting with a couple of friends. The discussion continued along the lines of, well, maybe we should do something about it. But there is no actual visual shot of the try being scored. And so we talked about the possibility of, or at least they talked about the possibility of a painting.
When I was first approached to do the painting, I didn't really take it seriously. So eventually I heard what the project was. Just said yes straight away without even considering what would be involved. I was told that there was no photographic records of the try being scored, and I didn't really take that seriously either. I thought I will find something. So it was only later on that the magnitude of it hit me really. So it was only really when Gareth Edwards was on my doorstep that it really hit home. Yeah, at one point Gareth threw himself across this bed in my living room to show me the position of the try, which was quite surreal. I remember ringing my mum afterwards and saying, I just had Gareth Edwards chuck himself across my bed. She was gutted.
I think one of the most difficult aspects of the whole painting was actually getting my hair right, because in those days, in the early 70s, my word, did we have hair.
I wanted the painting to have movement to it and energy, just like how the try was scored. And I wanted to give the impression that Gareth was actually coming out of the canvas, scoring that try right in front of your face. So I focused on the hand and the ball being the most detailed part of it, and everything else just kind of fading back into the background, really.
The movement and the people involved with the try are still exceptionally important, because that is really what brings it to life. That's what rugby was all about. That's what we talk about, improvisation, of playing the ball as you see it, you know. This was one of those games that I am proud to say I played in that game. They still talk about it 50 years later. So all in all, it couldn't have been too bad. And now I've got a lovely picture to remind me of it.
Because of who Gareth is to Wales and the wider world, really, I did feel like there was quite a bit of pressure on me to get this right. I got to the point where I think I was just putting some highlights on his shirt, and then I suddenly just realised that it was done. So I signed it, and that's my cue that I'm not allowed to touch it anymore. So I signed it and I walked away. When I showed Gareth for the first time, I was really apprehensive that there might be something that he picked up on which I hadn't got quite right. And as an artist, I don't think I'm alone in saying that we're never 100% happy with our work. But I was really pleased with his reaction and Maureen's reaction. Gareth was the only one whose approval I needed, and thankfully he was really positive and really impressed with the final piece.
You tend to forget moments in sport, and especially in rugby, where there is so much happening around you at the same time. But really, I've never been allowed to forget it. When I look at it now, I can almost smell the grass, as we keep saying, you know. Really does bring back vivid memories of that moment in Cardiff that day.
You can't not be aware of the great Gareth Edwards. But since working with him, I've just been blown away by just what an absolute legend he is, but also how down to earth and such a gentleman. I do feel honoured that I've had this opportunity to work with him.
I'm just delighted that I've been offered the opportunity to play in those games with wonderful people. Really tells me how lucky I've been and what a fortunate boy I've been. Having great friends from the game itself. And there was a couple of those friends who actually made all this possible. So, without naming names, I would like to thank them from the bottom of my heart. But it's been a great adventure.
If the greatest writer of the written word would have written that story, no